I'm a rabbit.
I fucking love pancakes.
Kitty bar.
Fluffed up and side on.
There's no P in the G.
Sexy. I've made you a chili. Get your dick out.
Wanted.
I quite enjoy it.
What? Are you fucking crazy?
I think you just took it too far.
Oh my god! That's so goddamn. Hello, and welcome to Swipe Match Marry, the modern relationship and dating podcast.
I'm James.
I'm Marny.
And I'm Steve.
Join us as we explore love, life and dating in the modern world.
Has the internet ruined dating?
How do you find and define your sexuality?
Do we have to adapt to find love?
We're going to be discussing all of this and more as we attempt to unlock the code of dating culture.
Let's get into the show.
Hi guys, and welcome to Swipe Match Marry, and this is the last episode of the series, guys.
Already? How did that happen?
I don't know.
We've been everywhere, done everything. Well,
Have we?
Not quite.
Not really.
We've been around a bit. It's been a good series. We've had quite a nice time. It's gone quick.
Yeah, it's gone really, really quick.
Okay.
Obviously, I've been to Japan.
Oh yeah, you've been to Japan.
I've
You've been
been
jet setting.
so busy.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're
Lovely.
being really rude because we're just talking to each other. We've actually got a guest.
Yeah,
special.
we've got a very, very, very special guest. We've actually got a Mr. Ollie Locke here with us.
Hello.
How is everything?
I'm really well, thanks. I'm okay.
We hear that you're jet setting to and fro.
I actually am. I'm jet setting to here to New York and then back every probably 3 weeks, which is fun, but I'm going to have to do it very soon with LA and then by January, Australia.
Why?
which will be
Why? Tell us
something-
why.
Tell us why.
So
What's
basically,
happening?
although I spend a lot of my time in Chelsea, I also spend most of my time in Soho because I am and have launched a new dating app called Chappy, which is Bumble's brother company. Basically with the same ethos, the same responsibility of kind of bringing a community together that I feel that isn't quite supported in a 21st century life. Our difference is where you have a sliding scale where you can choose Mr. Right Now, or Mr. Who Knows in the middle, and basically it kind of gets away from that awkward situation when you start speaking to someone on any dating app, whether they want basically a shag or they want something more serious. And I think that where I would always sit myself as Mr. Right, I think a lot of people would want something else, and I would want to be able to find that before having to waste my time on a Friday night.
Amazing. So what inspired you to one day just go, I need to make this app?
So, 9 years ago when Grindr started, it was a really great app. It still is a great app, and I would never pull that away. It's literally held our community together for a long time. However, in those 9 years, the community has developed so much that we've now got laws where we can have kids. We can now go and get married, and I think it's such a wonderful development. But however, with an app with the biggest gay database in the world, they haven't done an awful lot to grow, to support those sides as well. Mm-hmm. And I would always think, and the worry I had, is that if my son was 18 years old and he had come into London, the only platform he had is where a 65-year-old man can send a picture of his penis immediately.
Yeah.
Now, for me, that is literally contradicting every part of our community that we've spent 50 years working and dying for, almost,
Yeah,
a lot
absolutely.
of us. And that is actually something that we need to hold that community together with, just not a platform that is all about dick.
Yeah, and that quite.
You know what I mean? All about getting
shocked.
dick immediately.
No, well, that's one of the reasons why we wanted to have you on, because it does feel very much like a different type of app, and I think that's really difficult because we talk about apps all the time, and we're a big fan of Bumble. We talk about it a lot. It's been really present since we've started the podcast of being like a different type of way to meet other people, and we've talked about Christian Mingle. What was the Mickey Mouse one? There was a Disney one, wasn't it?
Well.
There's a Disney
Mouse Mingle.
Mouse Mingle, and Mouse Mingle and Christian
For
Mingle,
people
not
that
related.
want to like to dress up as Disney characters.
Yeah,
But, I mean, that's
a thing.
that's niche.
it's very niche.
Yeah, we did a whole episode on niche dating apps, basically, and there's you name a subject or a niche thing, there is a dating app for it, which is why it's quite shocking to me that actually there's only really Grindr. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know that much about gay dating apps. I'm sure there's more.
I get Grindr's probably the
Grindr's the most
well known.
obvious.
I mean, I pride myself on having a 2-and-a-bit-year relationship from Grindr, not with my lovely other half now. But when it first came out, I met someone on Grindr and we had a 2.5-year relationship. So it can work, but it's definitely known, I think, more for being a bit of a hookup. And as you say, there's not you have to go through the rigmarole of saying what are you looking for, and then it gives the opportunity for people to not necessarily be honest about what they're looking for. So now what we did as a bit of a experiment is we have someone that lives with us who's a beautiful, beautiful gay man, and single, beautiful gay man, and he's been trying out the app, and he's loving it, like really loving it, and we've both had a go on it because as engaged men, you know, the idea for us to like go, oh look, because we've been off the market for years. So yeah, we've had a great time, and I think it's fantastic. It's really brilliant, and I really like how easy it is to just swipe across, and then the rest of it feels very like a natural way to sort of skim through guys.
It is, and it seems like at the moment it's quite a good user base at the moment. There's some really cool, good-looking guys on there, which is
there's
fantastic.
definitely some hotties, and actually he met someone. And he's been on, I think, 2 or 3 dates now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is fantastic.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
really good.
Really
He,
good.
in fact, went on a really good one yesterday.
Oh, really?
So he's very happy.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the first really good one I've heard of.
Oh, cool.
That's
Well, they went to
Oh,
Fortnum
good.
and Mason's for a roast. I mean, can you
Oh,
imagine?
Posh.
That's definitely Mr. Right.
That's
Not
definitely
Mr. Right
Nice.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
Mr. Right now
fantastic.
would not go to Fortnum and Mason's for a roast, would
No,
he?
he'd go to Costa.
By me saying really good, does that mean really good?
Yeah, like they're hot.
Oh no, as in
No,
like, did
as
they
in-
end up
Oh,
doing it?
no, I think they're
Oh, they
being
didn't.
gentlemen about it.
Oh, yeah, okay,
I
fine.
think they're doing the Mr. Right.
Oh, cool. I was thinking 3 or 4 days. That's fantastic.
I think they might have had a kiss.
Oh, I think that's lovely.
brilliant.
Perfect.
So the app is called Chappy.
It is.
So how did you get that name?
So, hilariously, I read an interview recently that said it was to do with, what was it, charm and being happy. It's not that at all.
No, it was. I read
what
that.
was it?
It was choice and happy.
Choice and happy. Well, choice, weirdly, we didn't say that. However, choice is the heart of everything we have with Chappy.
Right.
And obviously happiness is very much part, so we didn't mind this in the slightest. However, it was actually a non-story kind of thing with Chappy. I think someone said about being a chap one day, and then someone said Chappy, and then we were like, well, I mean, as ridiculous names of apps goes, this isn't the worst. And we were like, what? And we were like, okay. We're only mildly worried about the Spanish market because apparently it means prostitute. So we need to. So we're slightly worried about that. But we will get to that at some point. But Spain is a
Chapino.
big. It is Chapino. I think it is something like that. It's something
Yeah.
like that means prostitute.
Wow.
But,
I like chappy. I love
good
the
name.
word chap. I
It
use
is.
chaps quite a
Right,
lot. I
chap.
think it's a bit old fashioned and I quite
Yeah.
like that. It's nice.
I think the heart of the business started with a kind of gentlemanly feel, and that's where we all started. So it worked, and I think it stuck, and it does roll off the tongue, and it's quite fun.
Cheeky Chappy.
So
Yeah.
you've launched simultaneously in London and New York, is that right?
We launched in New York
sort of?
first.
Right.
It's live at the same time, about 3 weeks ago. And then New York was last week, and then the major parties and all that kind of stuff. And then this week we've got a big dinner. And then in the middle of May we've got a big party, so you must all come.
Great. Okay,
Yeah.
I'd love to. That'd be great.
Absolutely.
That'd be great.
Even though, like, 2 of us are off the market, so...
Oh, it doesn't matter at all. As in, obviously be with your partner. As in, like, it does. Come and
Have a night
come and
off to
some
have
drinks.
fun on Chappy.
Amazing. So to chat a little bit about you, do you find being part of Made in Chelsea and being part of that programme, did you find dating hard, or did you have to be quite selective when you were dating? Or are
From
dating?
being in a public eye
From
scenario.
being in a public eye scenario.
Well, I did. Yes, it's not the easiest because you've got to whittle down the people that you meet on dates that are purely there for. I mean, if you're going out with someone that's utterly beautiful and they're really into you, and like, it doesn't seem likely, and they ask a lot of questions about you and your job and what car you drive and all that kind of stuff. You're knowing of what they want, and that's not what I'm after really. I did meet a guy on a dating app, on Bumble I think it was actually, before I started this project about a year ago, who I met and I spoke to, and he ended up in Made in Chelsea for a season.
Oh, wow.
And so that was a bizarre situation, but he was a Chelsea boy, and it just kind of worked weirdly. But yeah, I always found I do find it slightly hard to let people in. I think I became the first person to come out on national reality TV in Britain. And that was 6 years ago, and I came out as bi, and I found that really, really difficult, and especially dating, and especially I famously never downloaded Grindr,
Right.
because I didn't want that scenario. I found it worrying and
you could have got yourself into all sorts of bother though, really, couldn't you? Because people are approaching you knowing quite a lot about you. They can either watch the programme or they could Google you, and therefore you're almost on the back foot before you've even gone on your first date. So I think you've got to be kind of sensible maybe in that respect.
I mean, in a way, but half the time I feel that whereas if I was to go on a date with someone that wasn't in the public eye at all now, they have a completely clean slate, where I have 6 years of Google Images, where I've looked ridiculous and done stupid things and said stupid things, and that's, you automatically get that. You speak to the mates and be like, what, the camp guy I made in Chelsea? And actually I'm slightly less camp in real life than I am on the show, but it's, the show is what it is, and for some reason I always slightly played it up a bit.
And being, like, coming out as bi is quite... I think that the way people think about people that are bisexual is a little bit different, because I feel like they don't have the level of understanding. It's like if you say you're gay, they know what that is. Whereas if you say you're bi, I think there's still, especially 6 years ago, there was a sort of a question about that. Oh, what does that mean? Oh, that's just greedy. I mean, all those kind of really cliche, boring things. So how did you find that experience about coming out as bisexual instead of gay?
I wasn't in a position to come out as gay at that time, and I genuinely did. I was bisexual for a long time. I think bisexuality has a transition period, and either you are bisexual fully, which some people are, or some people, I think, don't know where to place them, and so use that word. Maybe there should be a word that is in that transitional phase, but I don't think anyone can. It's so difficult. I think it's the hardest thing in the world right now, bisexuality, because it's LGBT, and a lot of people forget the B.
Yeah.
The stigma behind it is untrusted and unknown. And if you're going out with a guy, does he want to shag my best friend? I don't know who's female, because it's really, really difficult. And I understand that. But I think that needs to be, and it's something I will, when we start doing a lot more philanthropy with Chappie, I would like to go into raising awareness for people that are bisexual as well, because that was my biggest struggle and put me in some really dark holes sometimes.
And when you're launching an app, you know, I appreciate you can't have it for everything straight away, and you've focused on a point, and I think you've got to build that before adding on what you would like to about other areas.
We've got some amazing stuff coming up though. We've got some really innovative. Our most important thing is safety and the responsibility with Bumble as well. And obviously that is a huge problem right now in gay dating apps. And so we will be focused on that a lot. Already you have to go through Facebook, so you have to be a kind of sort of verified person to go through, and you have to have your full name, and you have to have a profile photo of your face. So you have to have your name and face there. You don't have an ab shot as your profile photo. You will be taken off. We have 5,000 moderators around the world that will be doing that with Bumble's greatness. We've got their moderators.
So what's the relationship with Bumble?
They are very much so. My friend Jack and I have been friends for a long, long time. He worked for Happen. He was fundamental behind the success of Happen.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, great.
And he and I sat down pissed one day, and I said, I struggle because I can't find anyone, and I don't want to go on this app that I didn't think was trusted for me, personally. And he said, okay, fine. He goes, well, let's make a new one. And we laughed about it, and we're like, yeah, great. Came up with a couple of ideas. About 2 months later, we had all our wireframes all sorted, and we went to Bumble, and who we met randomly, Whitney Wolf, who was the CEO and owner of Bumble, and back in the day created another big one. And we said to her, this is what we want. She said, this is fantastic. I want to be a part of this. I want to be your sister company, and I want to grow this with you into as big as we can. And we said, fantastic. That was about 9 months ago.
Wow, how great to have the support and recognition.
And we love Bumble, don't we? Like, Steve's on Bumble. You've had quite a lot of success on Bumble. I've got 2 friends that have joined Bumble just because we've talked about it on the podcast, and they absolutely love it. So and for me as a female, it's really exciting that Bumble is kind of doing what it's doing as well. Like, it's important to me. Yeah, it is extraordinary. But one thing that I wanted to talk about is the link to Facebook.
Yeah.
So this is something that we have again discussed on the podcast previously, is that I'm not on Facebook. And therefore that's kind of shut me out of using a lot of apps. So what's the reason why Facebook?
At the moment, Facebook is the choice that we have chosen because it gives a sort of verification. Seemingly everyone, as the biggest social media platform in the world, we have to go for the biggest because it gives us more chance of a download. However, I would like to play with Instagram at some point.
Sure.
I think that would be nice, and I think it's as current and kind of keeping up with the times. we are building that sort of facility now.
Cool.
We will also be having Instagram very soon inbuilt into your Chappy profile, and the ability of that. But at the moment, it has to be like that because we need some sort of safety feature.
Yeah.
We can't just have an email of nothing because it just we need some sort of safety.
Yeah.
It would completely contradict what we're trying to put out there if we didn't have any kind of verification.
Absolutely.
Because you had, when you were dating, you had some problems, didn't you, Marny, about because you didn't have Facebook, or you don't have Facebook.
Yeah.
So you can't join.
Yeah, so it's like I'm not a real person.
Yeah.
Which I kind of understand.
Not fair, really. Is it? It's not fair, and I understand this.
I've obviously, I've made a choice to not be on Facebook for various reasons, and I absolutely understand why people use it. It's not right for me. But yeah, it meant that I couldn't join Bumble. I couldn't join Tinder. Not that I wanted to. I didn't feel like Tinder was the right platform for me. But I was kind of gutted that I couldn't join Bumble, actually, because I really liked it. I remember downloading it and then being like, oh shit, that's it now. I can't get any further because I'm not on Facebook. But I felt quite strongly that I didn't want to get a Facebook profile just to join it. So I guess I'm massively in the minority of not being on Facebook. There's not many of us around, so I don't think it's going to be detrimental to the users of Chappy.
No,
I
I had an email last week saying exactly that I'm not on Facebook. How can I do it? And I was like, I'm so sorry right now. This is the only way we can verify it.
It's just interesting to me to see. I fully believe that at some point in the future I'm going to have to join Facebook because it is becoming so... Yeah, I believe so. It's becoming so linked to everything.
It's getting right on my tits.
Is it?
Yeah, just, you know, like when you like share something and it might not be the most PC thing in the world, or it might just be something that's like funny but someone takes offence to it, and then they write a post about it, or they send a comment like, oh, well, I don't find, and I'm like, oh fuck, so I just delete it. I'd like delete the post, like the whole thing. I'm like, but fine, you spoiled it, you ruined it now, piss off.
Yeah.
When I did borrow my doggy, which I don't know if you know about.
I know about it. As a dog owner, I know about it, and I
Well, can I borrow your dog?
You can borrow it.
Thanks. So I signed up to borrow my doggy, and you have to send a video of yourself to verify yourself. That's how they do it. So you go, hello, I'm James and I want to borrow a dog.
Really?
I'm lonely and I can't get one in my apartment.
What, like an audition for a dog?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, it's just to sort of verify that you have to say like your name, your address, and something about yourself that's like linked to something you've written.
Okay.
So I guess that's quite a nice thing.
This reminds you of the wonderful Sally Phillips sketches from back in the day in Smack the Pony.
Oh my
when
god!
It was like, I'm looking for a
She
man.
favorited one of my tweets the other day, and I nearly fell over.
Yeah, she followed me on Twitter the other day, and I was actually
All right.
I was I didn't. But that was. I've got a couple that I do sit there and are quite special.
Yeah.
And whenever I get a favour or anything, even I get weird about it. I get fully weird about it.
So you were 30 recently.
I was.
Welcome to the club.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, welcome. We're all in
Did you have a nice time?
Yes, although since that day my hangover is now worse.
It's just
you hit
perpetual
30s,
now.
yeah. It's just you hit the 30s and you're buggered, really.
Yeah. I did some daytime drinking yesterday with my boyfriend, and he made cosmopolitans, and at 4:00 in the afternoon I passed out in the kitchen and he had to put me on the sofa. And then I had a nap for about 3 hours.
That's goals. In a
By
way, is it
passing
not?
out in the kitchen, do you mean on the work surface?
I literally went, oh my god, I'm really drunk. And then within about 2 seconds I went, oh my god, I'm really drunk. I'm really drunk. And then he literally had to put me on the sofa, and it was 4:00 in the afternoon. That's shameful,
Sundays,
isn't
that's
it?
lovely. That's
Shameful.
That's really nice.
But I think it's because I'm 30. When I was 23, that was not an issue.
See, that's almost my life goal, is to be drunk by about 4:00 on a Sunday.
It's just easier.
Wake up with the Times, reading the Times.
Bloody Mary.
With my dog.
Yeah.
And I can see it all now. The light coming in. Yeah.
Exactly.
And then by 4 be utterly bollocksed, and I would be really pleased with that.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Oh, it doesn't make me feel too bad.
We hope you're enjoying the chat so far. We love hearing from you guys, so if you've got a fun dating tip, a dodgy dating story, or even if you just want to say hello, send us a tweet at SwipeMatchMarry.
And if you'd rather remain anonymous, you can send an email to swipematchmarry@gmail.com.
Scandalous.
Now let's get back to the podcast. Have you done a podcast before, Ollie?
One.
How was that?
It was good. It was about I had a book out about 5 years ago.
Right.
4 years ago, and yeah, I did one about that. It was fun.
What was the book called?
It was called Laid in Chelsea.
Laid in Chelsea?
Yeah.
And it was just...
It was a strong name, but mind you, my agent said it wouldn't get to top 30. The real real confidence there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it went to number 3 for 8 weeks.
Oh, that's
so I
good.
was really, really pleased with it. And I think it was because it was very honest, a lot about sex, very naughty.
Sex
And
sells.
sex sells, as we well know.
Yeah.
It really does.
It does.
Because everyone does it. And I think that's the
Absolutely.
thing. Well, everyone's aspiring to do it if they're not having it yet.
Yeah.
I mean, there's myself in that bracket. It'd be lovely to get a shag one day. But it's terribly difficult when you're quite busy, I think. At the moment, we're all in the same boat, and it's quite hard to meet people.
Do you think
That's why Chappie is a good option.
Yeah. Do you think you'll use Chappie yourself?
I'm on Chappie, yeah.
Are you?
I am, yeah.
I mean, imagine that. You end up dating the creator of Chappie. On Chappie.
On
There
Chappie.
you go.
Yeah.
Like a competition winner.
It would...
Don't
Thanks so much.
No, that sounded really offensive. I mean,
I understand. I understand.
I mean, like, they've won a
hit the
prize.
jackpot.
Yeah, that's
They've
what I
hit
mean.
the
It don't sound
It's like when you're on Monopoly and you land on
I
go.
understand what you mean entirely. I really, and also I never take offence or anything. But yes, no, I completely understand what you mean. It would be bizarre though.
You could be on the date and be like, well, I invented this. So.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
stranger things have happened. Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
Like, it's people meet people in all sorts of weird circumstances. Like, I never imagined I'd meet my boyfriend the way that I did. Like, it's just sometimes you've got to open your mind to it a little bit, haven't you?
And your trousers.
And your trousers.
Yeah.
Open your trousers.
Sometimes.
One of the questions I quite like to ask people is whether they think the internet has ruined dating. Do you think it would just be better if we went back to the olden days?
Courting.
I mean, the Richard Curtis film inside my mind would say yes, I would prefer it.
Yeah.
Had we not had. I don't know. It's just a life development.
It's the
isn't
way
it?
it is now, right?
To meet someone in a bar is a lovely idea. However, the
Yeah.
realism is we're all so busy and we're all so skint.
Mm-hmm.
And so, whereas a Friday night is terribly valuable nowadays, you would rather not spend it with someone that you don't know yet, or you haven't spoken to, or you met very briefly in a bar and given a number to. So at least you can have 2 weeks of chat. That mean you've got something before you actually sit down and go, I'm going to actually give up my Friday night for this person. So I know
exactly what you mean. Like when your life is so busy, it's like I went through a part of the reason that we started this podcast was through mine and Steve's frustration at being single, people that were finding it very, very difficult to meet people. And I just reached a point where I was like, I've got so many friends that I don't have time to see, and now I'm hanging out with strangers, like trying to get to know them. It's really, really difficult. So I did find it kind of disheartening in a way, and I think that's probably why Chappie's great, because you have your option of Mr. Right now, which a lot of apps, not even just gay apps, but a lot of apps just kind of don't have. It's just like everyone's treading water trying to find the right thing.
We do have something coming out in July that I won't talk about yet. However, I guarantee you this is going to make life a lot easier for everyone.
Right.
In a huge
That's
scale.
That's it. That's what we need. Well, we'll have to revisit that then
Yeah, we
in
will,
July
I
in the
promise
next
you. It's
season.
extraordinary. Everyone,
Yeah.
especially the gay world, will be like, this is extraordinary.
Exciting.
But
That's
I imagine
good.
it will be with Bumble as well.
We haven't done our sex position yet. I mean, like, talk about them.
I don't want to do one.
Well,
thanks.
since it's the last of the series,
Come on,
maybe
Marny.
we should demonstrate.
I'm not demonstrating
No
anything.
demonstration.
Mainly because it's a
So-
podcast and no one can see.
We can take pictures.
No one wants that.
Okay, fine. So I have one,
Go.
and this one is called the butter churner.
The what?
Oh God.
The butter churner.
Yeah.
If it's anything phallic, churning, it's like, that's disgusting.
The butter churner.
I'm
Butter
excited
churner.
already.
Okay.
So I think
I'm
we're
not
going to play
drawing
like
it.
countdown. I think I'm just going to give you 15 seconds to
Okay. The
draw
butter
something.
churner.
Draw it.
Yeah.
I
Go on.
mean, I literally have
Are
time.
you, oh, am I going to...
You're gonna
the
try and
butter
draw
churner? Oh, God.
the
I hadn't
butter
thought.
churner.
So Paul
I've
Ollie
got to
Locke's
discuss
mission.
something. Right,
Butter churner.
What do you think it is?
I mean, I'm doing a crude gesture. Well, butter churner's a big paddle, isn't it? And you're
Yeah, it is a paddle.
waving that around.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at this, guys.
It's what you should have seen my London Bridge the other day.
Oh,
I mean, it looks
it's a
like-
gay couple.
I mean, it looks
put it
like
out
the
there.
skyline of London.
I mean, I'm really not very
Butter
good.
churner. Is it kind of? I feel like it's probably quite.
All right, wait. I'm really bad at drawing.
Right, come on, talk us
Right.
through. Talk
Okay,
us through your
this
sketch.
is not great. Okay.
Which Mr. Man is that?
So this is a penis and this is a penis, and I'm imagining kind of the butter churner kind of going round. So kind of swivel,
it's like
I see.
swiveling on, and
Oh,
then
I see.
so almost like
Do you
churning.
do like a squat?
Churning.
And you
I mean,
like
I think
do
you
that?
squat and then do the churn by turning your body round in a swivel.
Yeah,
Fabulous.
yeah. Is that what it is, Steve?
No, kind of. Kind of,
what
in a
is
way.
it?
All right.
Is
The
it a
butter churner.
heterosexual position or a straight?
It can be both. It can be both.
I just said heterosexual or straight. What I actually meant was...
can it be a gay
Straight or
position
gay?
or
Yeah.
a gay position? It can be both.
Go on.
So if you imagine, you know when you're just like sat on the floor and then you lay back on your back and you go even further, so your like ass is pointed up in the air with your legs behind your head.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like that, and then the other person kind of like squats over the top and puts it in, so it's like churning butter, like that.
Oh.
Steve, your gestures.
That was wonderful.
Yeah,
That was
that was great.
wonderful.
All right, lovely.
The butter churner.
The
I
butter
imagine a
churner.
butter churn to be an old woman. That's
Well, yeah,
that's-
you know,
yeah.
like you know those
in
pots
like a smock.
where they used to be like that.
Yeah,
it's kind of
exactly.
like that.
And
So-
she's wearing a sort of hat that ties
That's
up
your
under
dick.
In a heterosexual situation, woman on the floor, man on top.
Yeah, woman on the floor, man on top. The
And
man.
in a homosexual situation,
Any,
anything
depends.
goes.
Anyway,
or
take
whoever
them
takes
Depends
a
what day of the
fancy.
week it is.
Sure.
Or who won the coin toss.
Good lord.
That's how we all do it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have it. I'll be bottom tonight.
Where am I from?
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Northern.
Amazing.
Northern
Just generic northern.
Generic Northern, yeah. I actually used to spend quite a lot of my time dragged up like Marny. We used to work together, and you do know this.
Oh,
I mean, you weren't
dragged up.
dragged up. What do you
Yeah.
think I said?
I don't know
We're
what I
talking
thought you
dragged up
meant.
north or actually
No, that's
in
what I
drag?
No,
thought
no,
you
in
meant. That I
drag.
dragged you around.
Marny and I
no,
worked together.
in
I mean, I
drag.
say drag. It was me putting on some costume shoes, not even a wig, and a blouse or something, and just walking around doing a high-pitched northern voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really
That's
good.
quite fabulous.
Yeah, it was. Well, it was fabulous for everyone apart from me.
Oh,
who
why? It
Was
was
essentially
flattering.
ridiculed. It wasn't
We've all had our moments, I swear it's true.
So
I think I used to dress up to Denise Van Outen back in the day.
Did you?
I did this once. This is not.
You're
gonna
not
become
very
a thing.
blonde.
No, I'm not. But it was a wig, I think. But it was certainly she was
Why
my kind of
Denise
icon
Van
when I was
Outen?
young. I have no idea.
Yeah,
She'll
who
love
could
it.
But I
really
did this
say?
once.
Wow.
I do know her now well enough, and it becomes a bit awkward.
I dressed up like you.
Have you had the conversation yet about it?
No,
Oh, I think you should have it.
I avoid it because I think she knows that I was a big fan when I was actually on the Big Breakfast when I was very young. That's where the obsession started.
Right.
yeah.
And then as I grew up, I remember being terribly upset when she got engaged to Jamiroquai.
Oh, I
that was a
forgot
real-
that.
Yeah, I was terribly
The
upset.
whole band. No.
Yeah, just JK.
Just joking.
But yeah, I remember being devastated.
Oh, did you want to marry her?
I think I did.
Did you want to
was
sing
one-
songs
It
from
was my
Greece with her?
crushes, but little did I know I was a big gay.
Look at us now.
So it's probably the best thing I didn't propose.
Yeah, that would have been.
It'd be awkward.
Ollie, we like to tell a horrible dating or dating horror story at the end of the episode if you've got a terrible date that you went on that you'd like to share with us.
I have been on a date, a few dates that haven't gone particularly well. One of which was it was a date that I went out with someone when I was probably 25, 24, 23. I was a bit broke. I didn't have an awful lot of money, and I struggled a bit. And I was like, oh God, so I couldn't really give them much at that time. Anyway, as time went on, I did all right, and so I decided I'm going to re-ask this person out, and so I ordered a deluxe car service car, and went to pick them up in Primrose Hill, where they lived with their parents. She was 20. There was a girl at the time. She was 20 something, and she then got in the back of the car, and she said, I said, what do you want for dinner? And she said, anything, have a McDonald's. We were like, lol, McDonald's. So I had brought along a McDonald's. Oh. All right. Now, the idea of this is quite, sweet, nice. It wasn't. It was greasy, it was awful, and we got stuck in traffic on Edgware Road, and we just sat there, greasy, disgusting, with no booze in us whatsoever. The idea was actually to go to the Hilton on Park Lane and then have cocktails there, but this was kind of a lull in between, and we were just there, stinking, greasy, and
Chicken
not very
nugget in your hair.
And it just didn't work, sadly. But I mean, not a horror story, but it was just not ideal.
See, when you say
great.
deluxe car, in my head, I've got Jordan's wedding car, like her pumpkin.
She got married in a
thing.
carriage.
Have you not seen the carriage?
Yeah. Oh, that's a deluxe
that was
car to you.
That was the first thing that popped into my head. I
Like
ordered
Cinderella.
a deluxe car. Yeah, you know the big pumpkin
Cinderella,
thing.
that is a very camp car service. If we had one,
Yeah.
we could do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
I've heard you
New
can
business.
get horse-drawn carts into work. I have heard
Really?
it. Yeah, in London. I saw that in one of the kind of secret London kind of things
take
recently.
That is pretentious.
Can you go down the bus lanes?
I mean, we could.
I know that's what you're thinking of.
Well, I'm thinking, how did they get there?
Take
They
a
could go
while.
through the parks, actually, couldn't they? Well,
Sure.
depending where you worked.
It's
you don't
true.
go through a park
Let's
to get
speak to
my-
Sadiq Khan. Let's make it really
Yeah.
camp.
Dear Sadiq,
Yeah, yeah.
we've come up with this brilliant idea.
It's the gays talking. We would like horse-drawn carts every morning to
We
work.
want ponies,
Lots of love.
Sadiq.
I don't know if
Singing
it's going to go
stones
for
that you
it.
get in Disney.
Singing stones?
Yeah, have you
What
not
are you
seen?
talking about?
You know when you go to Disneyland
Yeah.
and you don't know where the music's coming from.
Right.
They come from stones.
No, they don't, sweetheart. It's speakers.
Yeah, in stones.
Yeah, but do you not think they make the speakers look like stones?
Yes, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm not
Right.
saying there's magic stones going around.
Well,
like,
because it sounded like you were.
no,
Well,
but
in
it's like
Frozen, there are definite magic stones.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
right.
horse-drawn carriages and singing.
Guess where I'm
stones.
going, by the way, end of the year?
Where?
Disney.
Magical Pride.
Oh, Magical Pride.
Magical Pride is where a load of homosexuals go to Disneyland together
In Florida.
and fuck. No. No, in Paris, actually, but they do it in Florida. It's like gay pride, but in Disneyland, yeah.
Are you going to dress up?
No, I'm not going to dress
Can I
up.
make you a costume?
As what?
I
Goofy.
don't know, you could be Belle, that's on point.
Well, I'd look like that doll. You know, that awful doll that looks like Justin Bieber? The one of Hermione Granger. No, that's not her name. What is her name? Emma Watson.
Watson.
First, but have you seen the doll?
No.
The doll for Belle, the official Disney doll, looks like Justin Bieber.
Oh, bless
Which is
her.
fine, but the long hair and the dress are a bit strange. But anyway, I'm going there.
Anyway,
Magical Pride.
that's
So we'll
exciting.
report back.
Too
Yes,
late for them
we'll
to say
do a-
sorry now, isn't it?
We-
That was really bad, I'm afraid.
I feel like we need some more dating stories as it's the last episode of the series.
Well, I gave you my water in a condom story last
Oh
week.
my god. If you haven't heard Steve's water in a condom, basically Steve's way to check that the condom hasn't split, then you need to listen to a previous episode. It's
As in, once
insightful.
you've used it.
Yeah, just recap. Come on, Steve, you just tell
Well,
Ollie
I
what
think
you
I've
went
got the
through-
premise.
Well, yeah, I went through a phase where I was really... I just started having sex and I was really scared about the condom splitting.
I can understand that, yeah.
So I used to take myself off to the bathroom, take the condom off, and then fill it with water.
Wait, would you pour and then fill?
No, I just like took it off, put it around the tap, and turned the tap on like a water balloon.
Okay.
Whilst it was full of semen.
so it
yeah.
becomes a jizzy, watery mess.
Yeah, exactly. And then did you tie a knot in it, or did you just check?
Oh no, I'm like, okay, that's fine.
And you didn't make
then-
any balloon animals with it?
No.
And present it to her?
Now, what's slightly annoying is now I could potentially do that, because now I'll think about that. I'll be drunk and be like, this is actually quite a good idea.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
It's not a good idea.
is it not a good
please.
idea?
I can't even talk
My
about it.
favourite
It's just
thing
too
is the
much.
thought of her in bed and you're walking off to the bathroom still with this thing and you're like taking it off and you're not like tying a knot in it and putting it in the bin and she's like thinks you've just sort of taken it to the bathroom with you and she's like, what are you doing? Oh, don't worry, I've just got to do my test.
Oh my god.
I feel like with what? Do you bring it back and go, look, we're fine?
No, I didn't bring it back and said, no, we're not fine. The water's falling out of it.
Oh,
Whilst
yeah.
there's a cummy, wet trail all around the house.
Marny.
Jesus Christ.
That's
When I was about
Marny.
17, I had a boyfriend called Joe, who was like my college boyfriend. And you know when you're that young, you just like have sex all the time, right? Because you've just discovered it, so you're like, you just have sex all the time. And we were having sex in his bedroom and his mum came home early and he like whipped the condom off and put it in his money box and we didn't think any more of it. And then we found it about 6 weeks later. I can't even begin to tell you how rancid it was. That just came to me while I was talking about condoms.
It's good to know, though.
Yeah,
It's
so
like-
don't hide a condom. A used condom
Was it
in a
like
money
rigor
box.
mortis? Did it like
It'd gone brown.
solidified?
Yeah, it'd gone brown. Anyway, should we just say goodbye to
We cannot end the series
On a
with-
brown condom.
On a brown condom.
In a
We
money
absolutely
jar.
can't do it.
Should we just say thank you to Ollie then?
I think we should.
Ollie, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on
Thank
here.
you very, very much
Thank
for
you
having me.
so much.
Thank you.
If you are a single guy out there, download Chappie and have some fun. Or find the one you love.
And also tell us about it because we are interested and we like a good love story, don't we?
Absolutely. So we're going to have a little break and we'll be in touch with news about our next series very soon. In the meantime, please go back and listen to our now quite spookily big back catalogue.
Yeah,
I had a little look on
extensive.
iTunes the other day and it was really freaking me out. I think we've talked about quite a lot. And none of it is, anything less than filth.
Exactly how it should be.
Absolutely. So thank you for spending your time with us.
My
Yeah,
pleasure.
thanks,
Thank you.
Ollie.
Good luck with the app.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, 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 bye.
Oh, you fucking idiot. Thank you for listening to Swipe Match Marry. Remember to subscribe using your podcast app so you don't miss out on any future episodes.
And why not write us a review? It's quick, easy, and helps us improve our ranking in the iTunes store. If there's anything you want us to cover, send us a tweet at Swipe Match Marry.
As always, we hope that next swipe leads to a match, and maybe even a lifetime of happiness.